Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to this opinions video where we're going to take a look at your opinions, your thoughts, your theories, your reactions to that monumental press event. The WrestleMania Kickoff has happened. We've got a much better idea as to where we're going, but let's get into it, shall we? Now, we've had 88 comments, so I am a little bit concerned that this could go hours and hours and hours. So we are going to start limiting ourselves now. We're going to put an hour on the clock, and once the time runs out, that is it. That is it, right? So we're going to get through as many as we can in an hour. So let's start the clock and we'll work our way through them. So boom, we are underway. Wrestling Escape Pod said WWE fans need to touch grass. It is a TV show, not life. Also, I am so hyped for the new Taylor Swift new album. Yes, Swifties. So Wrestling Escape Pods, shout out to you. Thank you for your inputs. Gio the Theo said, I think that this whole Rock Cody Roman story is great. Cody was the best choice to face Roman at WrestleMania due to winning the Rumble and the story. But where does this leave The Rock? I think The Rock tries to help Roman retain, but Cody and Jay stop this, making Cody win. Honestly, I think there's going to be a lot of where does this leave The Rock? Where does this leave The Rock? Where does this leave The Rock? I think that's the big question because right now it is Roman versus Cody. There's a lot of Rock fans that thought it was going to be Rock versus Roman, and you know, it still could be. I think, though, that they will deliver the Cody Roman match because they never technically said that we were going to get Rock Roman. It was never actually announced. We got the face-to-face and they did very much tease it, but we never actually got it announced, whereas this one has been announced. I mean, Triple H has come out with his tweets. It's done. It's, you know, the decision has been made. Of course, there's going to be more twists and turns. It may be that this match turns into a triple threat. It might be that this match turns into a fatal four-way. Maybe Seth could find his way in. I think what a lot of people are expecting, though, is that The Rock keeps talking about being the long gamer, and it kind of suggests that we might actually be starting a 12-month build. I mean, The Rock has just come onto the TKO board. Of course he's got Hollywood. Of course he's got other commitments. Of course he's not going to be around all the time. But it could be that we see Rock now working with Roman for this WrestleMania season. Then maybe he goes away until next WrestleMania season where he returns feeling let down by the fact that Roman lost the title or whatever it is that's going to play out. And then maybe we get Rock versus Roman next year. So I just think this is, I mean, for me, really positive. I do think there's going to be a lot of Rock fans that are upset out there. But as we said, we did a poll on the live stream and on Twitter. And I can tell you that on both, the results came back very, very similar. So we're talking like 65% of people were happy, really pleased with how this went down. About 30% were in the middle, confused, but okay. And then I think it was about 5-6% that were down on it. There was about 5 or 6% that really weren't pleased with what they ended up getting. So, you know, you're always going to get that. But to be honest, considering I thought that was going to be even worse, considering I thought that a lot of Rock fans were going to be very upset, only having like 5 or 6% as like a down, if you will, I was quite surprised at that. I thought that was going to be more. But so far, the reaction seems to be fairly positive. It's just, I think those Rock fans that were really, really hell-bent on Rock versus Roman, they're the ones that I think are suffering today, shall we say. So where does it leave The Rock? We don't know. We don't know. There's so many different directions. He could find his way into this match. He could work with Roman. It could be that we do Rock Roman next year. Could be that we do it night one this year. I mean, it's still all on the table. I think there will be many twists and turns still to come in this WrestleMania season. Chris, shout out to you, said, my confidence that Cody versus Roman being locked is low, despite the Triple H post. Since we thought we had it in the bag at the Royal Rumble, this feels like a messy pivot from SmackDown, and it's hard to believe this was the original plan. Rock seemed legit peeved. Now, what I would say is Sean Ross Sapp has said this isn't the original plan. So this is a pivot. If it feels like a pivot, word on the street is this is a pivot. And actually, before the press conference, Rock versus Roman is what was being reported by the dirt sheets. So we have pivoted away from that, and it seems like they've listened to the fans and we're kind of going in a new direction. This is not how Vince would book. I don't think what we've seen is kind of a Vince storyline, and him kind of reacting to the fans isn't really a Vince kind of approach. So it's uncharted waters. It's different. It's exciting. We don't quite know if they're going to get this right. I don't think they've got it really right up until this point, but I think, as we said, the kickoff show was definitely well received. So let's see where it goes from here. But I think you're right to not feel totally confident that Rock is out of this completely, because this could absolutely be a triple threat. I think if Rock fans now make a lot of noise, he could find himself getting inserted into that match. I think it'd be very difficult now to not see them have Cody go up against Roman, but could The Rock find a way in? Cloud said, my theory is that Cody disrespects the families of Rock and Roman. After seeing the current scene, there will be a match between Roman and Cody at WrestleMania 41. The Rock will tell Roman to defeat him, but this time Roman will lose. Then Rock will say to him, you call yourself the head of the table, but you've lost and disrespected the family. After that, there will be a setup for Rock Roman match at SummerSlam where The Rock will win. Then Roman will come after him at WrestleMania 41. Right, okay. So I was getting a bit thrown because of the WrestleMania 41 earlier. So you're saying that Rock Roman at 40, basically Roman loses, Rock gets upset, and then it builds to a match between Rock and Roman at SummerSlam. Rock will win, and then Roman will come after The Rock at WrestleMania 41. Is that what you're saying? Okay. Right. Chelsea 878 said, didn't The Rock's deal say that he was 100% fighting Roman at Mania? With this, Roman both nights seems a likely option. Roman is a heel, and you could say deserves to be pushed by working both nights due to the interferences by the bloodline. Cody wins night 1, Roman wins night 2. Now, I did actually respond to this. What I said was it did. So his contract did have that in it, apparently. But I guess The Rock will do what he feels is best for business. And I think we're seeing that. I mean, Rock Roman was apparently locked. And right now, that's not the direction we're going. If this Cody Roman story doesn't work, then I think Rock will be reinstalled. If Cody is red hot, then I don't think Rock will replace him. No idea if they can get Roman to wrestle twice. So I really think the crowd are playing a big part here. You know, I really think that we're going down roads that I don't think we expected to go down, because the crowd are reacting in ways we didn't anticipate them to react. So there's still a long way to WrestleMania, which is why I think the fans have more of a voice than ever before. So I would say keep buying your merch of your favorites, keep hashtagging. It seems like they are listening a lot more than ever before. So, yeah, it is true. The Rock's deal did say that he had a match in there, but it's really up to The Rock if he wants to enforce that. And also it's up to The Rock if he wants to move that. So I think he could turn around and say, look, this isn't the right year for me to have that match. can we push it back to WrestleMania 41? And considering he's on the board of TKO, I can't imagine that would be too difficult for him to get amended. So I really wouldn't look at that contract thing as like, right, well, he's got to wrestle, right? I wouldn't look at it that way. I think I think there is a flexibility there, because I think they are putting, well, I'd like to think they're going to put this story first, and they're going to want to make sure they tell the most engaging story possible, rather than The Rock just shoehorning his way back into WrestleMania. So, yeah, watch this space on that one. Robbie Fisk said, I wanted Rock versus Roman, but if we are going to play the long game to get there by having them both come together in a union, then have one of them turning on the other down the line to set up their feud, then I'm down for it. The storytelling will be incredible if WWE get it right. Aaron, shout out to you, said, since WrestleMania 38, a lot of us have been following this story. A milestone WrestleMania deserves a moment like Cody winning the WWE Championship. Imagine Batista versus Orton without Bryan, booed out the building. The right decision was made, in my opinion. Deadman Talking says, howdy days, why do you think they're making both the new belt that Seth has been killing himself to build up, as well as Seth himself, look so weak? And there would have to be some sort of payoff to make either Seth, the title, or both built up to look more credible. Well, I do wonder if they're not building up to a Seth versus Roman match later in the year. I think one way that you can make that title feel prestigious is by having Roman kind of run it down, but then when he actually tries to win it, he fails. So you could do Seth versus Roman, Seth wins, or whoever that champion is. I got a bit excited online because I was thinking, well, by the time we actually do Roman going for that other belt, Sami Zayn could be champion. Could you imagine Sami Zayn being champion and Roman comes after the title? But this time, Sami wins because maybe now Roman doesn't have his bloodline. So, or you could have Drew. Drew got screwed over. There's a lot of people that Roman has screwed over. There's a lot of people that would love to deny Roman another championship. So, and that would be a big match. And as well, it's a great way of building up that title. You can't call it the second title. You can't call it the loser's belt if Roman can't win it and can't get his hands on it and loses a match for it. So I do wonder if they're building towards that. And also I did wonder if maybe they were building towards, it does feel like Seth's involved. So I wonder if it would be a tag match at WrestleMania. I'm leaning more towards no, but there is a general consensus that night one could be Roman and Rock taking on Seth and Cody. The only thing there is, why would Seth be in that match and not defending his World Heavyweight Championship? Why would he be in that match? So that is a bit of a weird one. That's a bit of a strange question mark. I mean, you could do it where, like, I don't know, the titles are maybe on the line in the sense of if Roman pins Seth or Cody, like he gets Seth's belt, or if Seth or Cody pin Roman, they get Roman's belt. But we spoke about this during the live stream, and it's an idea that I'm not keen on. I don't really want belts being defended in tag matches. But yeah, trying to figure out, how do you have Seth in that match and him not facing someone like Drew, you know, or Gunther, like, and defending the World Heavyweight Championship. So that's why that match, I'm not sure about it. There is a theory that we could do Roman and Rock against Cody and Jey Uso, which I think is very interesting. Few people thinking, could we do that at Elimination Chamber? Or maybe that's what we do on night one as the main event. And then on night two, obviously we've got Cody versus Roman at the moment. Again, do we really want to take a main event away from the likes of, I don't know, Drew and Seth, or Becky and Rhea, or Bayley and Io? Like, I don't know. If The Rock's going to wrestle, that's the main event, right? Simple as that. If he's going to wrestle at this year's WrestleMania, that's the main event. So it's a tricky one. It's a really, really tricky one. But in regards to why are we trashing that belt, I really think it's to build sympathy on Seth. And also I think it's because we are building towards a collision further down the road. But it's all very long-term. Short-term, it doesn't make Seth look very good, and it doesn't make that belt look very good. So we're kind of taking, I think, some short-term pain for some long-term gain. Right, Edward said, Daze, I'm thinking Rock versus Cody night 1, Roman versus Cody night 2, but I could also see Rock and Roman versus Cody and Seth main event in night 1, so we just touched on that. Erase Your Mind says, WrestleMania Fatal 4-Way, 2 falls. So Cody versus Seth versus Rock versus Roman. So 2 falls. First fall is for the World Heavyweight Championship, and the second fall is for the Undisputed title. So Roman wins the first fall, taking the heavyweight title, the lesser belt, and Cody wins the second fall, taking the WWF Undisputed title, says Erase Your Mind. Dylan said, glad we got Cody Roman too. Cody will beat Roman for the title, and Rock will turn on Roman at WrestleMania. Timothy said, we still don't know if Rock versus Roman is going to happen. I think if The Rock uses his power like Vince did, he definitely was a feel. It definitely was a feel of the Attitude Era, said Timothy. Brady said, I love the press conference. It confirmed Cody versus Roman is happening at WrestleMania, but it also teased a tag match between Rock and Roman and Cody Seth. It's interesting to see how Triple H and The Rock interact on screen in the future. Darius fan 2024 said, Daze, what have we just witnessed? It was sublime storytelling, and I think this is definitely the start of something monumental for 2024 involving The Rock, Reigns, Cody, and possibly even Seth Rollins. The bigger picture is being painted as we speak. 2024 will be superb. Lex F1, shout out to you, bud, says Rock will be in Roman's corner, then stop interference, family honor, and doing it the right way, and Cody wins. Then a bloodline civil war really kicks off. Trinity and Nia are bloodline. Jacob Fatu signed. Jimmy will cost Jay at the Chamber. Rock versus Roman, WrestleMania 41 to end it all. I mean, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? I must admit that is the kind of way I'm leaning as well. I think the Rock saying that he's the long gamer, I don't think that really means that we're just building up to WrestleMania and then he's gone again. I mean, now that he's on the TKO board, he actually has like a very real investment in the company. It's not just a case of coming back to get the goosebumps. It's a case of, you know, he is on the board of directors. It's in his interest that this company perform as well as it can. And if that means using his star power more regular, right, then I think he will do that. So, yes, I agree. After WrestleMania, I think we will see more of The Rock going forwards. And we very much could be building to Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania 41 with many twists and turns on the way. Where does Paul Heyman stand? How is Solo going to deal with this? A lot of people are saying it's interesting how Roman was kind of walking in the shadow of The Rock and how Roman was sort of acting like Solo does to Roman. Like, he was kind of staying a bit quiet. He was in the background. He'd come in with maybe the odd words, But, you know, looking at the two of them, it really felt like The Rock was the one that was taking the lead. So, you know, we're looking at all these dynamics. And that is what's made the Bloodline story so good. You know, we looked at how Jay reacted with Sammy and how Jimmy reacted with Sammy and how Jay reacted with Jimmy and how Solo reacted to Roman, how Roman reacted to Sammy, how Roman reacted to Jay, and how Heyman reacted to Sammy compared to how Heyman reacted to Roman. And the point I'm making is those relationships, that's what made the Bloodline story so good. Because you knew that if you took any two of those characters and put them into a room, there was a relationship to explore between all of them. And there was a lot of different relationships. There was a lot of relationships where they weren't quite sure, or they outright didn't like them, or there was a bit of mystery, or you had someone that was just very outspoken. And so there was a lot of different things going on. And exploring those relationships, I think, meant that we had a very, very rich story. And that is, I think, where we're going again. You know, I think now we're going to look at the relationship. What's Paul's relationship to The Rock? What's The Rock's relationship with Roman like? We've never really explored that. You know, I mean, they can talk about their family history. How's Solo going to react to getting orders from The Rock? I mean, is he going to take orders from The Rock and then look at Roman and be like, am I allowed to do this? I mean, we're going to be eating good, man. We're going to be eating real good. Like, this, I think, is a very exciting development. The only thing I would say is I could understand Rock fans being disappointed that they're, at the moment, not getting Rock versus Roman. But I've no doubt that it comes at some point. Cobra said Cody versus Roman is the way to go. Have Rock versus Roman at next year's WrestleMania. Build it up for a year's storytelling with Bloodline stuff, and we will be more up for it. Kanisha, shout out to you, says they executed it perfectly. They really set up the storyline. I'm thinking it will now end up being Rock versus Roman versus Cody. So you think they will get to the triple threat this year? They could do. They really could do, because, as I said, I really think it's going to depend how this thing plays out. If, for whatever reason, the story they've now got planned is not working, I think they've shown that they won't just stick with it and just, you know, plow forward like Vince would have done. I think that there's going to be a lot more pivoting on the stories. I think it's a lot more fluid. I think we're going to see the fans having a lot more influence. That could be a good and bad thing, to be honest, because you don't want the stories being so fluid that they don't really connect and don't really make sense and don't really satisfy. But equally, if you really are going down the wrong road, right, and this might be an example of them going down the wrong road until they pivoted. If you really are going down the wrong road, I think it's great that we've now got the ability to change direction. Casual LA Knight Enjoyer said, I loved how Cody didn't hold back. Seth didn't either. And to be fair, no one did. They made it look like they really hate each other, especially The Rock telling Triple H he will knock Cody's teeth out next time he mentions his family. One thing WWE just did is they made SmackDown unmissable. Kian said, Rock versus Roman idea. Defo feels more about bloodline and family and who's at the top than a title. Where does Solo lie about with Jimmy and Jay? Do they follow the culture of respect the elders, brackets, The Rock? Yeah, I agree. That's the interesting part. As we said, what does Solo do if he gets orders from The Rock? I mean, will he be looking at Roman to go, can I do this? Or will he just do it? Or will he ignore him? And will that cause tension? You know, I don't know if you saw the Bloodline graphic. We put it in the unseen video, but it was pointed out that on that graphic, The Rock is listed as a high chief. And that I thought was very interesting. Very interesting. So I don't quite know how that structure works, right? I don't quite know how that all plays out, but I've got a feeling we're going to find out. Right, TJ, hashtag we want Cody, said after Cody beats Roman, the night after WrestleMania 41, The Rock shows up disappointed, or at WrestleMania 40, sorry. The Rock shows up disappointed after siding with Roman and gives him a rock bottom, setting up face Roman versus heel Rock at WrestleMania 41 in London or Vegas. I'm not sure where 41's going to be, to be honest. I think, wasn't the word on the street Minneapolis? I know Cleveland is rumored, but I think that might be SummerSlam this year. Certainly not London. Really not expecting London. Vegas, maybe, but I haven't heard that rumored. I think people thought Vegas because we were there for this, and they thought that Vegas might be announced. But actually, I think we're only there for this because of the Super Bowl, which is on Sunday and in Vegas. Right, Emmanuel said, it felt like it was all real, which hasn't happened in a long time. Honestly, I loved it. Yeah, good comment, great comment. Right, Chad said night 1, Rock versus Cody. Night 2, Cody versus Roman. Rock comes in and tries to help Roman like all his other matches, but all of Roman's biggest opponents, brackets like Jay, come out and help Cody keep it 1v1. Cody wins the title. Jordan said, I think Cody will overcome Roman at WrestleMania 40, but Jacob Fatu arrives and attacks Cody after he's celebrating with a returning Dustin Rhodes. And after WrestleMania, Jimmy and Jay convinces The Rock that Jimmy Solo and Jacob Fatu, that Roman using them because he can't win matches himself. After WrestleMania, Jimmy and Jay convinced The Rock that Jimmy Solo, Jacob Fatu, that Roman using them because he can't win matches himself. So you're saying that Jimmy and Jay will work with The Rock, but Solo, Jacob Fatu will be with Roman. I think you've lost me there. I think there's too many names going on. And to be honest, I'm not sure that we're going to get Dustin Rhodes coming in. That's an interesting point. Jacob Fatu, I'm not sure. He's got a past. He's got a criminal past, which has always made WWE uncomfortable. Jacob Fatu has been signed to MLW under some long-term deals, but I just don't know. I mean, look, this is a company that's getting really bad PR with Vince. I don't know that they need to sign someone that's got a bit of a history, right? I don't think it's anything, I don't know, I can't remember off the top of my head. We have looked at it before. I'm sure he has served prison time. And PR-wise, I really don't know that this company, and certainly right now, is going to be looking for any sort of bad PR. So Jacob Fatu, I'm really not sure. Dustin, I mean, I'm sure he would love to be a part of it, but I think Tony would have to give the okay. And my concern is Tony will give the okay, but he'll only give the okay if AEW can be mentioned, if there can be a graphic shown, that sort of a thing, you know. The TNA had Jordan Grace in the Rumble. They got loads of mentions. She came out with their belts and blah, 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 blah. So I don't know, to be honest. I don't think that WWE would want to do that and recognize their closest rival. So I don't know that they would do that. I think it would be really good if Tony Khan just didn't ask for anything and just allowed Dustin to do it, because I think that Tony Khan could really do with some good PR right now. I think Tony Khan has been the butt of the joke for a while. And I think if he was to allow Dustin to actually go and not ask for anything in return, so that Dustin could be a part of, say, WrestleMania 40 and maybe finishing the story. Maybe he could come down and deal with Jimmy Uso, you know? If it was going to be something along those lines, then I think that would be really good PR for Tony Khan. Really good PR. And actually, he wouldn't really need AEW mentioned on WrestleMania because, you know, people, I think, would be paying respects in the social media world, you know. I think they'd be saying, like, fair play to Tony for allowing that. So I think it would be great if we asked, if we tried, to see if it would be possible. I would love for Dustin to be there and even play a part in that moment. Mark said, I loved it because I think there are a lot of directions that they can go. Cody finishes his story, and then you start a build for Roman and Rock at WrestleMania 41, and that's just one way that they could go. HTX said, we up, baby. Scoopers are in the mud. Hashtag we got Cody. So just tagging in the tweet that Triple H sent out confirming decision made. Cody gets the chance to finish his story when he challenges Roman Reigns in the main event of WrestleMania 40. Mr. Unfamiliar said the Cody fans are rewarded for being shitty. Hopefully Roman retains and they build Rock Roman all year. Well, I don't think Cody fans were, to be honest. I think that there was Cody fans that felt he had been served an injustice. I think there was Rock fans that didn't care about that. They were just excited that we were going to get Rock versus Roman. I think that both sides of that online war, if you will, took it too far. Certainly the Cody side with the death threats was probably the most well documented, but I did hear of things on the Rock side where things got took too far as well. So to be honest, I have to disagree with that. I think that WWE looked at the reaction, saw that Cody had trended over the weekend, saw the Rocky sucks or heard the Rocky sucks chants from Raw, saw that every time they showed the graphic there was boos. And I think the message was clear that The Rock was not going to receive a very warm welcome in Las Vegas. And honestly, it was warmer than I expected. I thought it was going to be colder than what he got, actually. But there was very clear moments where there was "We want Cody" chants. And honestly, I think this just doesn't feel like the right time. If they plowed forward with Rock versus Roman right now, I think you're serving a lot of people the match which they would normally enjoy, but just not at this time. I think that the way we've gone about it is not the right way, and I think they are looking, as you've rightfully said there, to build it potentially for next year. So build Rock Roman next year. And Mr. Unfamiliar is hoping that Roman can retain. I am DJ Spaz Out said, I'm going to keep it simple. Cody versus Roman at WrestleMania 40. Rock turns on Roman and Bloodline at WrestleMania 40 to aid Cody winning, preventing interference, setting up Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania 41. I feel like everyone's got the same idea. I feel like we're all kind of in agreement, in alignment. There's a few exceptions, but Rock Roman, WrestleMania 41, we keep getting that, don't we? Muse0042 said, I'm happy they chose a direction that halfway makes sense and makes the road to WrestleMania have an interesting build. I imagine we will see Rock versus Roman either later this year or more likely WrestleMania 41. Lyle Chasing Hawk said, I'm pleased about Roman versus Cody is happening. I am intrigued about the twists and the turns that are going to happen on the road to WrestleMania. Nita Nitro said, loved it. We are working back into a reality-based era. Corporate Rock with Reigns and corporate H with Cody. The lads get the last feud they wanted, just not in ring, as they have the two guys who can do it for them. Links of Trips and Dusty. Power struggle. It's incredible. I really like that, actually. So, Rock and Triple H probably aren't going to wrestle. Obviously, Triple H has left the boots in the ring. It did cross my mind. I was like, could they? Will they? Triple H did give a little look after the backstage moment, shall we say, where they made it very clear, fix this or we will fix this. And he did have a little look at them as they were walking away, and you thought, could he? Will he? I mean, could you imagine Rock versus Triple H night 1, and then night 2 we do Roman versus Cody? But that's very, very unlikely. Like, file that in, not happening, right? So I like what you're saying, how, like, if we can't do that match, we've actually got, like, younger representatives for them. It's funny, isn't it? 'Cause we was going to do that match at WrestleMania 32. And they did do a little backstage confrontation to kind of build to it. Here we are 8 years later. And now they're at the point where they're going to likely be on the outside of the ring whilst representatives battle it out on their behalf. So it's crazy, isn't it? Crazy. It feels like only yesterday I remember watching them being face-to-face backstage as they started to plant some seeds towards a WrestleMania 32 match. So I agree. Reality-based, a lot of fun. Incredible. Arthur said, I think Triple H handled the situation very well, but there are still questions that need to be answered. Like, what happens to The Rock now? And what do we do with Seth? But still, an incredible save from WWE. After the big mistake they made, the next few months will be cinema. Well, I think, if I'm a betting man, I feel like Seth will end up facing Drew. Drew's been making a lot of noise, so I could see him winning a chamber, and I could see him going on to face Seth. I would be real tempted to get Sami in that match and to do a triple threat, and that might be my night one. And then on night two, I would stick with Roman versus Cody. I think that The Rock is going to be heavily involved in the build. He's absolutely going to be there. I think he's going to be by Roman's side. I think Cody finishes the story, and it's going to be real interesting what happens with Rock and Roman and Solo and Jimmy and everything after that. I agree. I mean, I think that Long Gamer, I just keep thinking about him saying Long Gamer. I just think that the bloodline now has gone into its next chapter. It's going into its next chapter now. And I'm very, or its next innings, we should say. And I'm very interested to see how it shakes out. Matthew said, Daze, so many questions. Could we see Dustin be brought back? Well, I would like to see that, but I'm not very confident of it. Let's put it that way. What happens with Seth? Well, if I'm a betting man, I'm going to say Drew, and maybe Sami can get in there if the crowd get behind Sami. Sami might need our help now because he cut an amazing promo the other day on Raw, and I would love to see him find his way of getting into a title match. You know, that sit-down promo he did in the stands saying, like, you know, he's remembering this time last year and how, you know, he's not an underdog anymore. He's a contender now. I just wondered if they were planting some seeds there. So Drew, Sami, Seth, I would definitely take that over Rock, Roman versus Cody and Jay. I mean, that would still be a great match. But, I mean, if Roman and Cody are fighting on night two, I don't know that I would have them involved in that match on night one, but I know many of you would. But I am a Sami stan. I am a Sami stan, and if I can get Sami into a title match, I'm definitely doing that, and it's definitely main event. So what will WWE make Day One Cody Crybaby shirts? I don't think so, because I think that's kind of, well, I think it might be done, but I suppose The Rock could keep banging the Cody Crybaby drum. He's heel. He's not going away. We're building towards Roman Cody, so maybe they could. Maybe there could be some Cody Crybaby shirts that come out. That probably has crossed their mind. Anything that can make money. I mean, I was thinking, no, probably not, because that's done now. But it's not, is it? If you think about it. Really, things have only just started, so that's actually a really good shout, Matthew. Love the coverage of the press conference. Keep up the great work. Matthew, thank you. Really appreciate the support, and I really appreciate everyone that joined us. I'm so pleased that people enjoyed it. And, of course, we are here for Raw, NXT, SmackDown, premium live events. It's just the non-stop party shop over here, let me tell you. Esmeralda says, and I might have pronounced that wrong, apologies if I did, I am rubbish with names. I am just wishing The Rock really does the right thing, like giving Cody his WrestleMania moment to fight Roman and not interfere. Because I'm guessing if he interferes, there will be a tiny backlash. Aside from the backlash that happened some weeks ago, brackets, we want Cody. I think it's a great point. I mean, I would hate to see Roman retain because of outside interference again, only this time it's The Rock. Like, I don't need that play. If I'm Cody, I know I can beat Roman one-on-one, or at least I can be competitive, but I've got to find a way of dealing with the noise that's around the ringside area. That is Cody's number one goal now. That's yes, hit the gym, do the work you're going to do, right? But this time you've got to have a better plan for the bloodline. You've got to have a better plan. I think it would be awesome if Randy Orton came down and dealt with The Rock. I think that would be so much fun. That's, I would love Dustin Rhodes to deal with Jimmy. I would love Randy Orton to deal with The Rock. And I said on the stream, I would love Brandy Rhodes to jump the barricade and just jump onto Paul Heyman, because he can trip a leg. No problem whatsoever. Don't think he's not going to do anything. So Brandy, I think, could deal with Paul. But yeah, look, imagine Randy Orton coming down and getting in the face of The Rock and them two going at it on the outside of the ring. And then you got Dustin Rhodes jumping through the crowd to deal with Jimmy. And it just leaves Cody and Roman alone in the ring. I need that moment where Cody looks around, sees that the outside interference has gone, and I need that moment where he just looks up at Roman with a smile on his face, knowing he has got Roman exactly where he wants him and where he needs him. Oh, cinema. It's going to be cinema. I'm so excited. Right, Rich said, it's defiant, but I agree Cody needs his story. We all love Cody, The Rock, and Roman, but in my book, all three on a so-so bad list with the boss. To me, I still get champ and bank. I trust my guys and sight and enjoy all. Love you, Bailey, and thank you. Okay, I don't think I even understand that. We all love Cody, The Rock, and Roman. Got that bit. But in my book, they're on a so-so bad list with the boss. Vince or Sasha or both? To me, I still get a champ and bank. No, an idea what that is. I trust my guys on site and enjoy all. Okay, well, Rich, shout out to you. I think what you've said there, from the bit I understand, about how we all love Cody, Rock, and Roman is true. It was never that. It was never that I don't think people didn't want Rock Roman. We just didn't want it that way. Didn't want it as soon as Cody won the Rumble. That was it. That was the problem. Cody won the Rumble, and so everyone went, right, we know he's going to choose Roman and he's going to finish his story. And then that got took away. So it got dangled in front of Cody fans, and then it got took away. And that stung. And that feeling is the feeling that Rock fans will have now, because they had it dangled in front of them and now it's been taken away. So I am very sympathetic to Rock fans right now. I really am. I'm not just saying it. I know that pain of having something you thought you was going to get be taken away, because we just went through it. So nothing but respect. Nikki said the pop when Cody chose Roman was not what I expected. I hoped it would be bigger. The crowd was almost 50-50. Yeah, well, I think it's really tricky because, I mean, I don't know. It was free to go in. And if you was in Vegas, I don't know, did people fly there especially for that? Were people in Vegas already? Are people there for the Super Bowl? What crowd was that? That wasn't a paying tickets crowd going to a normal Raw or SmackDown. That wasn't a normal crowd. So it really wouldn't surprise me that there would be more Rock fans there, because I don't know that those people are just in town for the Super Bowl or on holiday or something, and saw that there was a free, come on in, we've got The Rock, come on in, and they've gone in and it's like, yeah, The Rock. right? And they've just gone in and had a bit of fun and watched the whatever it was, right? So I agree. I mean, I was hoping for it to be a bit more definitive than what we got. It was very wishy-washy, right? And I think The Rock really listened out. He really took his time and looked at what the reactions were and really took it in. But yeah, it was not quite what I was expecting either, to be honest. Not quite what I was expecting. It's going to be very interesting to see how the proper Raw and SmackDown crowds respond. So hopefully a loud reaction for Cody later on SmackDown. Right, T. Hayes said, Daze, is this one of those matches that is done to put over by a superstar legend like did for Brock? Maybe reaching, but just a thought. Is this one of those matches that is done to put over a superstar or legend like Taker did for Brock? I mean, Roman is hopefully going to put over Cody. Cody's never won a world title. And that would be Roman passing the torch. So in that regard, yes. Because Cody is a big star, but he absolutely can get bigger. You know, I don't think it's unfair to say that Cody is not on Randy Orton's level, right? He's not on Undertaker's level. He's not on Cena's level. He's not on The Rock's level. He's not on Roman's level. I think Cody is someone that I don't even know if I don't think he's on CM Punk's level. I mean, you've got to be a multiple-time champion or have a real significant championship run in order to, you know, get into that group. So Cody has got so much more to achieve, so much more to do. This is why people say, no, you know, not this year. We can't finish the story too early. I'm like, come on, man. I mean, I'm all right with waiting. I can wait a bit longer, but I see Cody as a multiple-time champion. So we've kind of got to get the first one done if we want to get the other ones done. I know that you just follow the story as it unfolds, and I know you just go with the flow, but even so, it will be a passing of the torch. It will be a massive moment for Cody, and the emotion of that moment, that WrestleMania moment, when the tears are running down his face, and there won't be a dry eye in the house, right? And he's looking up at his dad. Oh my God, I don't know what they do in that moment. I don't know if they're going to play a little clip on the screen of like Dusty just sort of nodding or whatever he might be doing. I feel like you've got to put him on the screen. You've got to do something with Dusty in that moment. But that is going to be such a powerful moment. For me, it's going to be very reminiscent of I'm sorry, I love you, right? I don't know that it gets to that level, but it really could, you know. It really could. It really could. So it's going to be amazing, and that is also going to put him over that little bit more. Wrestling Escape Pod again said, my thought is that Wrestling Daze is sexier than Rock and Roman combined. That's got a lot of traction, actually. And I know people will think that I've typed that because Wrestling Escape Pod is the podcast that I'm on. But that was actually my co-host, Tommy Toy Travels, right? But he has now made it look like I am sneaking compliments into this video for myself to read out loud, right? Which isn't a great look, is it really? It's not a great look. So, Tommy, thank you. Patrick, shout out to you, said, hear me out on this one. Okay, my thoughts are, do you think maybe this is a work from The Rock, whereas at WrestleMania, he helps Cody or Jimmy or Solo trying to get involved, then they can set up Rock Roman at SummerSlam or the next WrestleMania. Remember, Rock said he's a long gamer. Yeah, the only thing I would say is I wouldn't have The Rock be the reason that Roman loses the title, because I think that would take away from Cody. Cody needs the honor of winning the title. So I think that is what we need to protect. I don't want anyone to say that Cody was sort of gifted it, but it could be that The Rock is standing at ringside, like urging on Roman, and Roman looks over just as The Rock kind of smirks at him, turns, and then lays out Solo. So Solo gets taken out of the equation, and Roman's like, what are you doing? And The Rock just walks away. So he's took Solo out of the equation, and he's also walked away. That way he wouldn't be gifting it to Cody, right? Cody would still have to do the work of actually beating Roman, but he's just sort of turned on Roman. So you could absolutely go that way, yes, and then set up a match a little further down the road between the two. That would be face Rock versus heel Roman, which makes sense. But then there's a school of thought that if The Rock's going to be in an authority position, do you actually do face Roman versus heel Rock? Because heel Rock may be around for a while. He might be around for a while if he's going to be on screen doing a bit of an authority type role. I don't know. It's really tricky. I don't know which way I would go, to be honest. I think I really like Roman as a heel, and I don't think I'm looking to turn him face. But if we did turn him face again, well, that just unlocks a whole new world of possibility, doesn't it? That just unlocks a whole new realm of possibility if Roman turns face and then starts running through some of the heels. So, yeah, very interesting. Phoenix Maximus said, I've got no idea what's going to happen, but holy shiz, things have got weird. Either way, I'm leaving the stadium night 2 in tears. We all are. We all are. Matthew said, as ironic as it sounds, it's what's best for business. I feel like the outcry and the backlash would have been far worse if they pleased the few and sudden Rock fans. Macarice said, days when Cody comes out, he said him and Rock have had many conversations. What if they are working together? Because Cody feels like he can't deal with the bloodline getting involved, and The Rock takes out Jimmy and Solo, leaving Roman vulnerable. Yep. We just touched on it. So, yeah, it's interesting that people have got these same sort of thoughts. Shane said Rock and Roman versus Cody and Seth, would that be, or Jay, in Perth. Night 1, Cody versus Roman title match. Night 2, Roman versus Rock, head of the table. I mean, you could do the swerves, the turns that quick, but I don't know if they might want to just stretch it out a little bit more. Just that little bit more. I feel like I don't think you're taking Cody out of the Roman match now. It's just, do they also add Rock Roman this year? Do they add Rock to the Roman Cody match? Do they add Seth into that match as well, you know? There has been word about doing a unification. I mean, do you just do a fatal 4-way, winner take all kind of a situation? ArtDog7190 said, this completely changed everything, as I did not expect. At first, I thought Rock versus Roman was going to happen, but no. Cody coming out to him, talking about his family, saying it's BS, got me excited, knowing he was going to challenge Roman. Due Rock Roman plans, what a way to end. So ArtDog enjoyed it. Nelson said, I just hope Roman wins. It's early to finish the story. It needs more chapters. They should do a dusty finish. Ryan said, it was great entertainment, but it's made Cody look a little silly, going back on his words. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I agree, actually. He has and nod, which has opened the door for The Rock to come in. Cody didn't really decide, but he did say to Roman, look, I won't see you at WrestleMania. So he sort of did decide, but he didn't officially say, Seth, I choose you. And then he's gone to this thing and heard what Rock and Roman have been saying. Like, they've kind of had it all mapped out between themselves. And I wonder if at that point Cody thought, I've been played here. I've been played. Like, they want this match because they want to keep that title within their family. And I've been played. So actually, no, I haven't decided, but I have now. And I'm coming for you, Roman. So it could have been that. Could have been that. But I agree, you know, had he have, like... The story is a little strange because he wins the Rumble and he very clearly wants Roman. It's only Seth's conversation on Monday which delays Cody from saying Roman. Then he ends up speaking to a load of people. One of them is The Rock, who seems to dissuade him as well from picking Roman. And so then that's when it seems like we're getting Rock versus Roman. But obviously at the press conference, we know that Cody came back to his senses and ended up selecting Roman. But I agree, it's a weird story. I feel like it's one that I wouldn't have told, but it's one that you can piece together. You can make some sense of. You know, it's not that it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You can piece it together and, like, you know, maybe you've got to fill in a few blanks. Maybe we won't have to, because we are going to hear from Cody on SmackDown, and maybe we do get some of those blanks kind of filled in for us. So, unmissable. Alex said Damian Priest finally cashes in on Seth at WrestleMania ? Well, yes, I mean, he definitely has got a good chance of doing that now that Cody is seemingly not in that match. So, yes, I think Damian Priest has an opportunity to do that. But we've seen cash-ins on, like, the Raw after WrestleMania as well. So it could happen in the Elimination Chamber on that show. Although saying that, Seth's not going to be, I don't think he's going to be there. I mean, I know he's not wrestling, but I don't know if he's going. Let's say he isn't. Let's say they don't fly him to Australia, right? So WrestleMania then, or maybe the Raw after WrestleMania, or maybe the Backlash show in France. So there's going to be a few occasions, opportunities, but WrestleMania would seem pretty tasty, wouldn't it? Seem pretty tasty for a cash-in. Lewis said, I don't have a clue what's going on. Well, hopefully this video has helped a little bit. Dave said, Rock versus Cody at Elimination Chamber. If Rock wins, he gets to be the ref at WrestleMania. Cody versus Roman. Rock wins. Cody versus Roman with Rock as the ref. The Rock turns on Roman at the end of the match with Cody winning the match, and The Rock holds up. Cody hands the end of WrestleMania. Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania 41. Okay, so you're saying Cody against The Rock at Elimination Chamber. If The Rock wins, he gets to be the ref, and he does win. Then we get to WrestleMania. So it's Cody Roman. Rock is the ref, but Cody wins. Got you. Rico said Rock jumped the line because this is a retirement match, says Rico. Noli said, I think we're going to get a Mike Tyson situation where Rock turns on the bloodline like Tyson did with DX. That one line that Cody said is sticking with me. I'm going to take everything from you. Setting up a huge bloodline feud. Seth and Cody versus Rock and Roman at Elimination Chamber. Well, Seth won't make it because of the injury. You could potentially do Jay and Cody against Rock and Roman, but Roman is not expected to be at Elimination Chamber. So people are wondering if that will be the main event of night one. But I'm not sure I'm sold on that. But saying that, The Rock is apparently training to actually compete. So, but could we find a different opponent for The Rock? There's every chance it's Rock versus someone on night one, right? Could be Rock versus Randy Orton on night one. And then it could be that we end up doing Roman versus Cody on night two. Apparently Rock is working to have a match. And he's got, but again, you know, is that true? I mean, it probably was, but now that plans have changed, has that changed? We're going to have to wait and see. I'm not sure about this tag match. I'm not sure about it. It feels like we're only doing it to get The Rock in the ring, and maybe that's a good enough reason, to be honest. Maybe that's a good enough reason. Angie said Rock versus Roman hasn't been derailed. If you go back and watch The Rock's reaction when Cody said that their grandfathers would be ashamed of Roman, he seemed conflicted, like part of him agreed. Ryan said it's still incredibly confusing, but I'm so glad they decided to go with Cody versus Roman. The only question I have is, how is this gonna move forward with The Rock? Well, I think we've covered a few alternatives. Seth, not Rollins, said cinema. Vetric said Rock has officially turned heel and aligned himself with Blood, his Samoan dynasty, bloodline, family. Expect all of them, plus new faces, to try and stop Cody from finishing his story. Also, while at the same time, expect a power struggle over WWE with Rock and Roman versus Triple H, in my opinion. Fire. Jesse said they handled a hard situation well. It was good to give everyone a chance to say their opinion and listen to the audience reactions. Roman reacted in a normal way. The Rock heel turn was smart. They finally had Cody be less passive and finally stand up for himself. It was done well. Excellent point. It was nice to see him stand up for himself. I agree. Right. Survivor said this felt real. Now that they're playing into the Rock being hated at the moment, it has made this story 10 times better. And the way they did things tonight made this feel like it wasn't scripted. A story this big with this feeling is exactly what WWE needed for this WrestleMania. Michael said, I have no clue what happened at the press conference thing. The Rock side with Roman, like over family, and then slaps Cody. Like, serious, are we getting a heel turn by The Rock or a match at Mania before Roman reigns? Serious, what happens? I've got the family tree thing. So yeah, it looks like the Roman and Rock are on the same page now. So it doesn't feel like we're building towards a match there at the moment. I think we will get that match. I'm just not sure it'll be at this WrestleMania. But I think we will get it. But I think basically we're seeing the next innings, the next chapter of the Bloodline story. So yeah, at the moment, we've got Cody, who has chosen Roman. He's upset The Rock. He's then insulted the family after they insulted his. And it's just a big mess, really. It's a big mess. But at the moment, Cody, Roman is the headline. That's all we need to know. Look, we've got so many more. We're just not going to get to them, right? There's loads and loads and loads. I think we've had like over 90 comments. So we tried to get through as many as we could. I don't even know if I went the right way, to be honest. I probably should have started the other way, because I think we did the more recent comments first. So that's a lesson learned. But a big thank you to everyone that's shared their thoughts. I think we've got a real snapshot as to what people are thinking, and the reaction there is very, very positive to what went down. Obviously, we got SmackDown, and things can very quickly move forward. Any questions we've got here may be answered tonight, but I wanted to get this down because I know a lot of you, myself included to a degree, our heads are spinning. So I wanted to get this out so that you could maybe just watch this before SmackDown starts, and we don't even know what answers we're getting on SmackDown, so maybe this will help beyond SmackDown. But I think we will do another of these tomorrow following SmackDown so that we can discuss anything that went down on SmackDown. We can talk about anything that you want to talk about, and obviously the Cody, Roman and all that stuff as well. So haven't got long to wait for another one of these. I really enjoy doing them, and I hope that you enjoy kind of sharing your thoughts as well. And as we said, we will be back tomorrow with another for SmackDown. Awesome. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget, we will be doing the live stream tonight for SmackDown, and we're here for Raw, for NXT, for SmackDown, for weird press conferences, for premium live events. We're here for all of that stuff. So a big thank you for the support. It's really appreciated, and I will see you again next time. Bye for now.